just tell us about what you've sent out so far and what you've got to come.
We've sent out an Australia and a Far. We'll be tending towards the mile
Yeah.
and further horse. If they're fast, they're fast. You know what I mean? They just stay for a mile.
Yeah.
No, they're often just as fast. They just stay an extra 3 or 4 furlongs.
So
I'd imagine Frankel would have won the July Cup as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he stayed a mile.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So we've had the Australia breezed well. They're finishing well, which is tough here. The winter has been really hard. Every breeze up man has less work in their horses than they had last year, and the course has a lot more moisture in it than we've had in previous years. So it's telling from the last furlong and even from the finish line galloping out. It's very testing here. Yeah, and
Sort of you'd like to get them on the grass as much as possible, would you? And with the setbacks you've had, that's just not been possible.
this is the first time they've hit grass.
Really?
First time all they've done with grass previously is eat it. They haven't I haven't got a gallop on the grass. I did actually yesterday, the day before yesterday, we did a little bit on not the Cambridge side, the other side. We had to come back on the grass. But I don't find it makes a lot of difference, honestly. People say you'd like to get to work on the grass. Often I've arrived here and this is the first time they've touched grass.
And so do you think that's something that buyers will have to take into account coming into this? Do you think it's something we'll look back on and say, oh, of course, that was the sale after we had that, particularly bad winter, or not necessarily?
Yeah, I think they will, but the smart buyers do. They do. These guys are very sharp now, and they bought the several agents there that are very successful at breeze up, so better not start naming them. But yeah, they will take it into account. There's a massive picture. The time is very relevant. The most important thing if you're buying a racehorse is speed. So people say, oh, the time doesn't count. It counts. I mean, they're not for looking at. They don't lay eggs. They don't give milk. It's how fast they run.
And it's one of the reasons I wanted to get you up here, Johnny, is exactly, you've just said it, I go for more of a miler. And it's sort of looking left when everybody else is looking right, because there's a massive influence of speed and precocious horses. People don't want to wait anymore. And I quite like this theory of looking left when everybody else is looking right. So when you're buying, how does that alter what you buy? Would you different stallions? Would you still look at the Kodiaks and the sharper 2-year-olds, or how would you choose?
We look at. I'm really lucky. We have a massive selection. We have a massive team for selection, so we look at everything. Every yearling in Europe gets looked at, and that's headed up by Jeremy Brummett and Timmy O'Byrne. And what happens is, for the money we have, every year we go over during the October sales and we watch the Dewhurst. And during the Guineas sales, we'll go over and watch the Guineas. And we don't go to watch the race, we go to watch the unsaddling before they put the saddles on, before the race. And that's what you want. That's the horse you want to end up with next year. So every yearlings get looked at, but it's hard to shell out for a horse if you don't think he can win the Guineas. I mean, I'm not saying they're going to win the Guineas, but if you think he can't,
on that note,
why go there?
On that note, though, you've achieved your dream, really. You sold 8 colts in Europe last year, two of which have
Guineas entries.
So
now,
you'd be happy with that stuff.
Yeah, delighted. And actually, Jeremy bought both of those for 7 Hills. One of them is probably a 1.25 mile horse, Big Bad Bob horse with Jessica Harrington, Boho. But Raid with Dave Simcock, I spoke to Dave this morning, and he's fingers crossed anyway,
Well, that's it. This is what spring's about. It's all about dreaming, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
We went to see David about 3 or so weeks ago, and again, he was very positive about Raid, so he'd be pleased to hear.
Yeah, no, we need this. Do you know what I mean? I'd really like one to get over the line. You know what I mean?
How big would that be for you?
It would be a justification, isn't it? But it would be like the amount of confidence it would give us in what we do. Like the whole preparation process is based on them winning a Guineas or winning a Group 1. Do you know what I mean? And they do this along the way. This is a step towards it.
Interestingly, there are only 2 classic winning horses that have come out of the breeze itself. One's Speciosa and the other's Harbour Law. And that was Willie Brown and Malcolm Bastard that consigned those 2. So that just shows, we only have a handful of classics every year, but how hard it is. And as you say, you've got to aim for it though, because we need the best, don't we?
But is it less classics? Is it more Royal Ascot early types that are more the types targeted at this sale, do you think?
At this sale, no, I think it does have a classic theme to it. Donny, or different sales.
Yeah.
Earlier sales would be for earlier 2-year-olds. But yeah, the thing is, a Kodiak or a Windows Speed Precocious Sires, they're tempting because they'll breeze well.
Johnny, who have you got to come to that we should look forward to?
I've had the Australia and the Far, and coming up is there's a Pivotal. Now she's a Pivotal out of a King Mambo mare. She's 1.25 miles pedigree, but she'll breeze quick. I guarantee you, there's 10 Kodiaks in here or 9. I'd say she'll be in the middle of them if she isn't at the top end. You know what I mean? She'll be competitive and stay. There's a Declaration of War filly that'll should be in the business end of this. She's a January foal. Although she's American, I bought her in Goffs, so she's been in Ireland, and she's ready to rock. She is one. I didn't think she was, but she is. She's a couple of months older than the rest as well, and that makes a difference. It does make a difference.
Just saying.
That's going to help, isn't it?
Yeah, it's going to help today. It's going to help all the way through the summer.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And there's a Muha gem that I bought for less than €15,000, and not with this sale in mind. But the others are averaging, they're averaging almost 100 grand coming in here.
It's nice to see how much it excites you, though. When that really comes across, and it's a big day for you, but the excitement's very much there.
No, I love doing this. I really. How does it get better than this?
You had a little break from it for a while, didn't you? But it's drawn you back.
Yeah, and I wasn't going to come back, but I did. And a lot of people send me horses. Brummett in particular kind of got me started again, and here we are.
It's good to have
So
you
far,
back,
so good.
Johnny. It's good to have you back.
Thank you.
Johnny, thank you very much. I think you might have have you got a daughter of Pivotal coming up pretty shortly?
Oh, yeah.
So
Can we
do you
watch
want to
that?
watch it with
I
us?
would, yeah.
Yeah, go on then. Why
Sure.
not? Let's watch it
Yeah.
with us. I'm getting the impression, Johnny, from a lot of yours, you expect them to stay as well, but when they show that speed, that's equally what you really want to see.
No matter what, a mile and a half. I gave 2 years with Aidan and 6 years with Todd Pletcher, and they had a lot of classic horses. They were all quick. They're all quick. You don't get a Derby winner that isn't fast.
No, you got to have that speed.
It's about faster horses.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's the game. It's faster horses. So, what you want, one that's quick. What the breeze up does for the buyers is it eliminates ones that are slow. Do you know what I mean? That's great. They don't have to give. He might have cost 100 grand as a yearling. We've taken that risk and we've taken that 100 grand out for you. Do you know?
And equally, sometimes they can be brilliant up here, but it's the preliminaries that I suppose can get to a bit. How much can you do with them to get them used to this sort of stage and the screen and everything that goes on?
We do a huge amount. Like, the process is. But first of all, when we get them, they get no rugs, no shoes, no antibiotics before Christmas. So you end up with a hardy, hairy horse. Let's watch this now. I'll tell you about that after.
So this is Johnny's Pivotal, daughter of Pivotal, who we've heard about. We'll just watch her breeze now. That has started. Sun's out as well for us.
My bottle is rotten here. I'm hoping he doesn't go too fast early on, but she'll get home anyway. That's lovely. I love the way she puts her head down and do it. Yeah, she's hard, this one. She's tough now. She's not got a gentle personality. Good girl.
I'd imagine you'd be pretty happy with that.
Yeah, I'd be happy with that. That'll do. Good man, Diego.
Just tell us about Diego.
Diego is 17 years he's been in Clare. He came, like, you got to admire a guy that comes 5,000 miles, doesn't speak the language, right? And he's made out. He worked for a small trainer, Joe Quinn, a neighbour of mine. We use his gallop and he used mine. And then he's got going. Now he has his own yard. He breeds 5 or 6 horses himself, and he breezes all of mine. And
They work hard, don't
yeah,
they?
he got married and he has a couple. He's just, he's made good. He's came here on his own and made good.
Got a lovely shot of this daughter of Pivotal pulling up on the hill. You'd be happy with that?
I would, yes. She's very professional. He's proving to be such a good broodmare sire. He's Pivotal. And he's 25 this year, but he's still as fertile as ever. Still stands at 40,000. It shows what a good stallion he's been. To be able to get a lovely filly like that, going forward, that's the sort of, if from a broodmare perspective, now you get some value. Hopefully, you could buy. You've got a nice racing prospect. Get some fun racing her, and go on and have the full picture.
And what happens now with her? Johnny, she goes back, relaxes, and then trots around the ring over the next couple of days.
She electrolytes. She lets cool out. Hopefully she cools out okay. I don't anticipate anything else. you give her some electrolytes, because the whole journey over, the whole journey from Tatts over here and back. Well, one of the things we do, you're asking me about preparing them and the pre-parade or the run-up. They said it was the University of Kentucky that if a horse travels 5 times, gets in a lorry, the stress levels, the cortisol levels, as long as nothing bad happens in the first 5 times, go way down.
Yeah.
So I'm 2 hours from the Curragh. I have a lovely gallop at home, but I bring mine at least 5 times to the Curragh, and they walked in here like they'd been here before. It makes a huge difference. I made that mistake early on of not bringing them away, and it does. So if they've done all this, walking into a parade ring in a maiden, they're here against 200 horses. They'll stack up against 4 or 5 some Friday, and they'll hopefully do it professionally.